Paranoid and delusional is right. Convinced of their own importance, Meghan and Harry believe the royal family is blocking them from landing these big brand deals. Let's explore this claim together and figure out if there's any chance that it's credible. Hello and a very warm welcome to Kate Middleton and the Queen channel. Alright, before we get started, I want to say thank you to everybody who has been reporting that King channel for stealing my videos. And I keep on reading some comments from you all saying that you're having trouble finding the channel. I feel like they make it hard to search for a reason because they know what they're doing is illegal and sketchy. But anyway, the way I have found it is you can either type in the King-Charles, and usually that will bring it up. By hyphen, of course, I mean that little dash. And if you can't find it that way, which actually I just did a search and it didn't pop up. Sometimes it'll pop up on mobile for me, but not on my PC. The whole thing is weird. But anyway, you can search for the video No Way Back for Traitorous Prince. For me, that one pops up every single time because, yeah, it's a pretty unique title. No one else is using that title because I came up with it. These people are driving me crazy. I mean, come on. I'm sure they could come up with some content for their own videos, but no, they're lazy, so for them it's easier to steal mine. Anyway, thank you so much for your help in this issue, and I sure hope that we don't have to deal with this for much longer. All right, enough of that. Now on to the main topic. I came across this article in The Express, and folks, I gotta tell you, my jaw dropped. So the title is, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle convinced royal family behind vendetta blocking brand deals. It's right there in The Express. They claim it's an exclusive, and I had to read it because, I mean, of course. The two of them are completely delusional. Why do they think they're important enough for the royal family to be blocking these brand deals? What makes them think that any brand at this point wants to be associated with them? I mean, their brand is toxicity. So as usual, this is coming from a source close to the Sussex camp. Well, I think we know who that source is. Hey, Meghan. Okay, so the source reports, there's a general feeling that there has been a vendetta waged against them. There have been talks held with high-profile brands that didn't lead to anything but should have done. Those brands then actively courted other members of the family. You guys, how can we take this seriously? I mean, come on, this is so unhinged. Okay, there's a vendetta waged against them from the royal family. Okay, first of all, after everything Meghan and Harry have done, I actually wouldn't blame the royal family for waging a vendetta against them. But I don't believe for a second that's what's going on here. Meghan and Harry do not need any help destroying their careers. They do a fine job on their own. Just yesterday, we talked about Meghan and Harry's popularity numbers in America compared to the rest of the royal family. Even though they're doing slightly better in the polls, the other members of the royal family are still much more popular than those two. So, of course, any big brands who are wanting to get a royal on their books are going to look at those other members of the family. They're not going to look at Harry and Meghan. And what big brands are they talking about? Oh, I've got a good idea, Dior, right? Yes, of course. I mean, we heard all those reports that Meghan was going to be signing on with Dior. That was just Meghan trying to manifest, which if you don't know what that is. So in the past few years, I don't know when it started exactly, around the same time that My Truth started to be a thing. But manifesting is this thing people talk about, where they talk about that they focus on something, they think about it, and then it magically happens. It is the kind of woo-woo nonsense that Meghan believes in very firmly. She believes that if she puts these stories out claiming that something is happening, even though it's not happening, that will make it happen. Pretty sure that's not the way reality works, but okay, sure, Meghan. You'll remember a few months ago, we were hearing that Meghan was going to be the new face of Dior. And at the time, our eyes were rolling so hard they were getting stuck in the back of our heads. We knew that was never going to happen. Why would Dior want to sign on somebody like Meghan? I mean, okay. First of all, I'm sorry, but Meghan is not some great beauty. Her looks also have gone way downhill thanks to too much filler, too much Botox, and too much Ozempic. She's looking scary. So, okay, that's her first problem. Well, her second and bigger problem is the fact that her personality is so incredibly odious. And in spite of the fact that her PR puts out these pieces about her, talking about how great her fashion is, most of us don't see it. Meghan is not a style icon, period. It was around the time of the coronation, though, that Meghan and Harry were trying to get involved with Dior. That's why Harry wore that Dior suit to the coronation. He was thinking that if he did some free advertising for them, they would want to sign him up. Well, no, it takes more than that. Lots of people wear Dior because they want to wear Dior. Most people don't expect to land a contract just because they're photographed wearing Dior. It's probably something Meghan put him up to. Anyway, though, according to the source, both Harry and Meghan often wore Dior and were at one point huge fans of the brand. Harry wore a Dior suit to the coronation, and the Sussexes were starting to build up their partnership with the fashion house. Well, I do wonder if the fashion house even knew that Meghan and Harry were starting to build up their partnership. I think they didn't know anything about it. Which is exactly what happened when Meghan tried to release the news that she was signing on with Dior. Dior responded, and they said they knew nothing about this deal. The two of them are completely bonkers. Honestly, watching them gives me such a bad case of secondhand embarrassment. It's just so cringy. So anyway, the source goes on to say, then the focus shifted towards Camilla and other members of the family. To add salt to the wounds, the actress playing Kate Middleton was announced as the new face of the brand. It was all very suspicious timing. Okay, well, Camilla is literally the queen. I think any big brand out there who is looking to have the royal family advertise for them is going to be looking at the working members of the family. They're not going to be looking at a couple of irrelevant nobodies like Harry and Meghan. Camilla, of course, is going to get a lot more attention than the two of them. Camilla is going to be seen at all the state events. She's going to be right there beside the king. Harry and Meghan don't even get invited to anything, so why would any fashion house want the two of them to be representing them? What, so that Meghan can go stomping around a parking lot and be photographed wearing their clothes? Who would want that? And when is Harry going out? Where is he going? I think most of the time he's probably just going to the yard to smoke a joint. I do think it was funny, too, when they announced that Meg Bellamy was going to be the new face of Dior instead of Meghan or Harry or any actual member of the royal family for that matter. Even though I despise The Crown and I'm not going to watch that work of fiction, I still think Meg Bellamy was a good choice for Dior. Meg Bellamy is doing a great job playing Catherine. She's beautiful. She's a newcomer. I'm happy for her. This contract is going to mean so much for her in her career. But as for Meghan and Harry, well, their careers are already in the toilet. It wouldn't even matter if Dior tried to throw them a bone. Now, I am sure that WME has tried their best to land Meghan some deals with companies like Dior. But the companies want nothing to do with her because, at this point, their name in Hollywood is mud. They have been dropped by Spotify. They have been called grifters by a Spotify executive. At this point, they are seen as a very risky investment for good reason. So let's look at their Netflix deal, for example. They signed this deal with Netflix, reportedly worth around $100 million. So far, they produced their one docuseries, Harry and Meghan, that apparently didn't do very well. I'll get to that a little bit later in the video. And then there was the Live to Lead series, which apparently they didn't even really make, but they tried to mislead us into believing they made. The whole situation was bizarre. And then we had Heart of Invictus, which was a huge flop. So at this point, Netflix is realizing they made a big mistake signing those two on. Is Netflix going to cancel the contract? Well, that remains to be seen. The contract is set to expire in 2025, and we're already hearing many reports that Netflix does not plan to renew. Well, of course they wouldn't. Clearly, Meghan and Harry are desperate for any kind of work, but that doesn't mean that the work is going to come their way. These companies don't feel sorry for them. They see a couple of lazy grifters who don't deserve to have landed these lucrative deals. That is the problem with them, though. They are so entitled. They believe that because they need money, corporations have a responsibility to sign them on. That's not the way the world works. Most of us have to bust our butts working a lot harder for what we've got, which is a fraction of what Meghan and Harry already have. They should be thanking their lucky stars that the Netflix contract hasn't fallen through yet. It's crazy to me how even after everything we have seen, it sounds like Meghan and Harry are still refusing to take responsibility for the position they are in. The source went on to say, they are thrashing around like a fish out of water. The team doesn't appear to know what to do at this point. The consensus now is to try and repair the damage done to the royal family and hope that link will help them out of the doldrums. Well, I do appreciate how this source doesn't even try to hide the fact that the only reason Meghan and Harry are trying to repair the relationship with the royal family is because they are screwed. They've got to find some way to make money for themselves. And of course, trashing the royal family worked well before, so that's what they're going to try again. Is it going to work this time, though? Absolutely not, because the royal family is not going to allow them to get close. But honestly, I believe this is what's going on. I suspect that's why we're still seeing all these reports that Harry's trying to repair the relationship with his father in time for Christmas. The two of them would really love to spend Christmas with the royal family, but they're being excluded. Meghan and Harry are just assuming that if they can drum up public sympathy, the king is going to relent and allow them to join the family at Sandringham. They are dreaming. Even if the king wanted to give in and allow them to come for Christmas, there is no way William would stand for that. And William is the heir. By all accounts, William is much more important than Harry and Meghan are. William is also incredibly loyal. William does so much good work on behalf of the crown. William understands that not only are Harry and Meghan a threat to the monarchy, they're also a threat to his family. I mean, they have said some really scary stuff about his children. They have said horrible things about Catherine. William is not going to let them get near. It sounds like the family, though, is staying strong. Bravo. The source stressed they are in trouble and are struggling to find the best way forward. Harry has been trying to reach out to his family of late, but doesn't seem to be getting anywhere. He appears to have well and truly burned those bridges. All right, folks, even though I have admitted in the past that sometimes I do feel sorry for Harry, I'm going to tell you I don't feel sorry for him in this situation. I mean, I feel sorry for him on the one hand because he is in a relationship with a narcissist, and I don't believe he's allowed to do his own thinking at this point in time. But I do not feel sorry for him because his family won't speak to him. I just applaud the family because they're making the right decision. In the past, the royal family's been way too lenient with Harry, in fact. The king has forgiven Harry for his misdeeds time and time again. But at this point, he's crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. It sounds like the king is finding it very difficult to forgive Harry for the horrible things he said about Camilla in Spare. And then, of course, recently we got Endgame, which accuses the king of making racist remarks about Archie before he was born. Enough is enough. The king is not going to take it anymore. It also looks to me like it does not matter what the royal family does. They're always going to be wrong, according to Harry and Meghan. They're always going to be blamed for Harry and Meghan's failures, even when they had nothing to do with it. Meghan and Harry are failures because they're not talented, they have no marketable skills, and they're a couple of grifters who lie about what they have to offer. That's why they're not successful. It has nothing to do with the royal family. Now, if for some crazy reason the royal family decided to trust those two again and let them back in, you know they would screw them over in the blink of an eye. As soon as somebody came along wanting some dirt for cash, Meghan and Harry would spill whatever information they had. That's why the royal family has to stay strong. They can never trust a pair of grifters again. Honestly, the nerve of those two expecting us, the public, to feel bad for them because of the position they put themselves in. Now I want to share a couple of comments from the video Last Hail Mary for Sussex. After a calamitous 2023, will they right the ship in 2024? It's a similar topic, and I really appreciated some of your opinions. You know, one reason I love reading your comments is because it reminds me that we are not the crazy people here. The crazy people are the people in the media who agree to publish these puff pieces about Meghan and Harry that are so incredibly one-sided. I just really appreciate being reminded that most people do not buy into this BS. On this video, there were a few different comments saying that people hope that Meghan and Harry do not return to the UK. Well, I think we're all hoping for that. Aquarius says, I believe America has spoken. They ought to move somewhere else. As long as they don't come back to the United Kingdom, I couldn't care less, actually. I suspect this is an opinion that is held by most citizens of the UK. After Meghan and Harry have trashed your royal family, why would anybody welcome them back? Another comment I've just got to share comes to us from Paula. It made me laugh. Paula says, yes, Meghan is too old to be a yacht girl. In my opinion, maybe there is a market for a former yacht girl to organize new yacht girls for the party. She could dig up new dirt on a group of people, in my opinion. Maybe Marcus Anderson could find a job for the Harry and Meghan to work the front desk at Soho House, or maybe as a concierge or bartender and hostess. In my opinion, that type of work would be just up their alley, just not in the US, England, and the Commonwealth countries. In my opinion, anywhere else. Maybe take Doria with them. Also, just wondering, is the British Oversight Committee for Charities investigating the missing money from Invictus? If not, in my opinion, it should be. Just wondering how much donation money was used on Harry and Meghan instead of the wounded veterans. Or is Epstein's former island on the market? Maybe Harry and Meghan could relocate there, in my opinion. Just wondering. LOL, thank you. Thank you, Paula. You got some good ideas there. Harry's had a concierge working for him for probably all of his life. Surely he could do a good job at that. And as for Meghan, yeah, I think she could be a hostess. Honestly, though, I don't think either of them could be a bartender. They'd be getting everybody so drunk because they would probably be making drinks the way they would drink them. And, as far as where they should work, I think Soho House is a great idea. Remember how they took that little trip to the Caribbean island, Canouan, I think was the name, so that they could promote Soho House? Maybe they could go work there and then be out of the UK and US forever. And as for Doria, well, who really knows? I think she's going to follow them wherever they go. And you, what do you think about the fact that Harry and Meghan are blaming the royal family for their failures? Please let me know your opinion below in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to like and share it with anybody else who would appreciate it. And of course, I thank you so much for continuing to report the TheQueen channel for stealing my content. Thank you so much for supporting me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll be back to see you in the next videos.